Somebody wants to know, do the other local feds support you in your promotion?
You know, I would say yeah. I mean, I haven't, I can't say that I've talked to every promotion owner, but nobody's really come to me and said, I hope you fail or what have you. And the few that I have talked to, yeah, they've been very supportive because I have been calling a few of them and saying, I got a question on this, would you mind answering? And they've been all about it. So yeah.
And that's one thing that has to be said, is that I am glad is that so far we actually, WFSO, we talk to a whole bunch of different um, Fed owners, wrestlers, and everything. And we actually have not heard one person say one bad thing about SWE. And to me, that's good. You know,
Well, hopefully it'll stay that way. I mean, I've been around long enough to know that you're not going to make everybody happy. I mean, that will never happen. But
exactly.
I'd like to think that I can make the majority of people happy.
And see, that is one thing that I'm gonna have to say is that I do like about the way you have run your business so far, is that you have been respectful to everybody in the industry. You haven't, um, come forward and acted like a complete asshole like a lot of people do. Um, and
But again, I mean, if you're, you choose that. You have to be in the business. I mean, you have to respect it. One of the first things that I is respect for everybody else in this business. You have respect for people that got you here, and I mean, because otherwise you're never going to have respect. You're never going to get it.
exactly. And everybody who I've spoken with who has like dealt with you has, said the same thing, that you're always respectful, except for Juicy Johnny. And who really cares about Juicy Johnny, to be perfectly honest?
Yeah, exactly. That's juicy, Johnny. Nobody worries about him.
Nah, especially as he's got a change in the parking lot.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I personally want to know is this: is why did you choose now to announce that you're going to be running this Fed, and why not before, before or even later? Why did you decide now?
Um, well, it has talked about, yeah, we did try running once in '07. Didn't out, and now it's just the right time. Um, you know, look around at what's out there. What actually is the indie scene in Wisconsin's kind of come to the point of revival, I guess I would call it. You know, WSO Milwaukee Wrestling, it has kind of put it out there. They've got people back into it. The finger pointing and the whining, complaining, goes a lot away. People are into it again. And, I figured I want to be part of it. I'm very happy.
See, and that's one thing I have to be said is that, when we started up WFSO, and I'm sure I can say the same from Milwaukee Wrestling when they started up, is that we didn't do this in order to, get on anybody's bad side. We did this so that people would know exactly what's going on locally wrestling wise, especially for those people who, they wait patiently for WWE and TNA to come into town and everything and want to go and see wrestling shows. And we do that so that people can go see wrestling shows. And what I don't think a lot of people realize is that a bunch of the local feds will actually get in wrestlers who worked for WWE and who worked for TNA. Just recently we've had Matt Hardy in town. Unfortunately, I wasn't at that show. Otherwise, you would have seen me on the news for kidnapping the man. Um, but there's so many local feds who do actually manage to get some of the big names in there. And if you've only got, say, $30 to spend, you can go and see a local show. You can go and have a great time at local shows. And
He's acting like Dave Hero who will bring him in. Frank brings him in quite a bit. He actually, uh, my already. I know he had Gagne or has him coming up too. He's had the Dream Team on before. He had this awesome fun. I mean, yeah, it's definitely ICW. I mean, they brought him in. He has X-Pac coming up.
right, and that's on Friday.
It's definitely something that's out there. It's definitely something in the future of SWE. We will at some point definitely be bringing in the name.
Somebody actually wants to know is, would you give up some of your original characters that were made from SWE for an old veteran who's an expert in the ring?
Would I give them up? Like, would I tell them not to come back? Like, that's what do you mean?
I really don't know. I'm just reading the question to you word for word. It's like, would you give up some of your original characters?
If I can have them elaborate on that.
See, and that's one thing has to be said is that I don't think any local fed should actually get rid of any of their indie wrestlers just for somebody with a name. Because, your local wrestlers, your indie wrestlers are who make you. And yeah, you may be able to, for like one show, pull in a bunch of people because you managed to get someone, but that person's not going to keep pulling them in every single show if they're only wrestling one match.
Well, I guess like I said, I mean, if they can, I guess if they can elaborate on the question, I'd be able to answer it better for them.
Right. So the person who actually asked that question, if you could just go into a bit more detail so that it could be answered better, we would appreciate it. Now, somebody else wants to know is there a talent exchange between SWE and the other local feds?
Well, at this point, I mean, I'm not teamed up with anybody. Like I said, a lot of workers that work for me work for other feds, so I get nothing that's like because of me or another fed or whatever. A lot of them just for a bunch of feds, but it's a question that at some point in time might team up with another fed to do some stuff.
That would be really cool. So one of the things I would like you, if you just want to explain to us all, is tell us a little bit more about the tag team of Sexy Casey and Juicy Johnny, and what we can expect to see from that partnership.
Well, Juicy Johnny and Sexy Casey have been a tag team for a while. They're former tag champs for a few feds. They're going to be going under a new name, Team 2D Extreme. It'll be good. I honestly believe people will thoroughly enjoy it. It'll be good. That's about all I can say about it.
But I'm still disappointed that you said you might not have the feather boas.
Well, I've had a few people complain about that, so I might have to resent that.
See, that's the one thing that has to be said that I love about you guys is the feather boas. It's very gay looking, but you guys are too masculine for people to even assume that. So I think it should be oil and feather boas.
Well, yeah, all right.
I've got you lost for words, haven't I?
I have a hard time believing you're speaking for everybody else. I just know what kind of freak you are.
Apparently somebody said that Sexy KC looks like Goldberg, or Gilberg, or whatever.
Oh, well, as long as they didn't say I have no talent like Goldberg, I guess I can deal with it.
Now, I'm running out of questions, people, so if we could actually have some more coming in, somebody actually said are you like TNA now, who is big for good storylines, or the original TNA, who is good for the wrestler?
I'd like to be both. I mean, you can play with one, the wrestler, or just the talent on talent, but I mean, at the same time,
Gotcha. I'm trying to think. Let's see what else we can ask. Hmm. I really would like to know why you let Daisy May throw you through a table.
I really didn't have a man.
Because it has to be said is that was one of the highlights of my wrestling year was seeing sexy KC go through a table.
Like, are you asking why would I let her do it?
Why did you let her do it? Sexy KC is obviously, a good wrestler and everything, and we want to know why you let Daisy May get you through a table.
Why not?
That's just perverted.
I will say this, that 6 minute 8 week David Bob show was I've never seen a crowd hotter than that. So
that was a truly amazing night. It has to be said.
Yeah, you know, anyone stays in that area, I'm on a save. No choice. So.
Okay, somebody wants to know will you be having promos and interviews?
Yeah, we.
Then let's have a look. I'm just going down. Are you going to have any daytime shows, or will they mostly be at night?
At night.
Okay. Since the wrestlers aren't under contract, would you just make the wrestlers go in extreme matches, like going through tables on fire, etc.?
I will say that for the, I heard something mentioned our if somebody could go to the table on fire at 70 already up down.
Okay, and Milwaukee Wrestling actually has a question that you did just answer, but just because I think they were late coming in, is your Fed going to be storyline driven or wrestling driven?
We're wrestling Fed. We are wrestling Fed. Like there will be fun because in wrestling there has to be, but we are wrestling Fed.
So I don't know if anybody caught that because the phone my end is I'm having issues with it again. It's breaking up a bit. But he did actually say that there will be some storylines because you obviously, in order for a Fed to run, you've got to have some storylines. But it will be a mainly wrestling-driven Fed. Aside from the wrestling venues, will there be a consistent spot to train?
It depends on what you get. If we have nobody that wants to train, then there's really no point keeping them up. If we get a lot of people that want to train, there's definitely chances.
Okay, I'm just going to say the question again, but I'm going to answer it for you. Somebody asked if will there be promos and interviews. He did actually say yes, there will be promos and interviews. More of those will obviously come probably in the new year in regards to promoting SWE. And I think you actually have somebody particularly fantastic doing your promos and interviews, to be perfectly honest with you. Milwaukee Wrestling wants to know, will DJ Bob be doing the sound?
I certainly hope so. I've talked to him about it, so I certainly hope that he will be, yes.
It has to be said, I'm just going to go off a little bit on this one, is that DJ Bob probably is one of the hardest working sound guys in local wrestling.
I'm gonna cut you off there because there's no problem. I love DJ Bob. There's no problem about it. That guy is phenomenal at what he does.
He is
absolutely phenomenal.
And the one thing that has to be said about him is, I think he's really is the unsung hero of a lot of the shows because without him, with his music, his timing, his whole setup, you would just have a bunch of guys walking out to nothing, no bells ringing. I mean, it would just be a completely different show without him. So,
Oh yeah, I agree. DJ Bob is a huge asset to indie wrestling in this country.
Most definitely. Even if he does keep begging me for cookies and stuff, which he will be getting on Friday at the ICW show. So just for the record, DJ Bob, you